Back and I'm better.
Please. How are you, my good brother?
I'm great. I'm great. I'm blessed, happy, swell.
Mm,
Everything under the sun.
everything under the sun.
Hmm.
Happy Valentine's Day Eve.
Thank you. It is Happy Valentine's Day Eve.
Is that a thing?
No, that's not a thing. I know that I've seen a thing going around right now about you gotta ask for them to be your Valentine. So I guess that's the eve of Valentine's Day. It's like
Oh, is
crazy.
it? I didn't know. Well, you saying like somebody has to officially, like they need to officially ask?
Yeah, like you have to officially ask your partner for them to actually be your Valentine, which I did.
Yeah.
I thought it was just casual, but anyways.
Yeah, no. Respect. Well, welcome to Cultivating Conversations with DP Squared, the best podcast in all of Washington, D.C., period.
Let's talk about it.
I am your co-host, Deja, along with my good brother,
DeAndre.
And we just want to thank everybody for tuning in, those who are live, and like we always say, those who watch after the fact, because we know we got a strong support system who watches on their own time, which I love, But
yes,
let's hop right into it, shall we? Because we've been talking about this topic for a while of saying how Valentine's Day is not just for couples. So we wanted to do like a spin on a Valentine's Day episode edition and talk more about like self-love and just doing things for yourself and stuff like that. So we have a special guest today.
A very special guest today, and we would love to bring her up.
Yes.
Hi, guys.
Hey. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Okay. For those who don't know, this is Khalia, period. Okay. And Khalia, you started your own page about, well, first, before we even get to that, before we even get to the Instagram page, I want to start with a quote, because DeAndre and I usually pick a quote out of a book just to like get us started, to try to like think about like something positive or whatever.
Okay.
So DeAndre chose page 14, I guess, because of Valentine's Day. He's corny. But it says, don't do nothing because you can't do everything. Do something, do anything. So I guess it's just saying like, just because you might not be able to tackle everything, don't give up to like not even start like anything, So it's like, at least try, at least do something, do anything. I think that was good. I needed to hear that, honestly, because I'd be trying to give up fast. Yeah, but I don't know. So anyway, Khalia, I wanted you to talk a little bit about, because your page, Khalia's Culture, like is about, well, I'll let you explain it, but to me, on the outside looking in, I felt like it was a lot about like self-love, your own journey with health and wellness, and just posting things that were important to you. So could you talk a little bit about why you created it?
So I created my page in 2020. This was right at like the prime of the pandemic, and ultimately I created it to hold myself accountable. I knew that I was transitioning my diet because when I was at my previous university, I didn't like the weight that I was gaining. I didn't like how my skin was. So I was like, okay, what's something I can do to like show people, more so like in the Black community, but people on a broader scale, like you can eat healthy, you can look a certain way. It doesn't matter, what you're bringing to the table ultimately. And then I wanted to showcase things that I hold true to myself, like, staying natural, but, popping out every now and again, showcasing like the importance of eating healthy, but not staying away from like my roots. Like a lot of the food that I create, even if it is vegan or plant-based or seafood, it's something that I grew up on. It's nothing that I'm not used to. I try to like, showcase that you can't eat outside of the box and still, stay true to like the food you grew up on. And, it's nothing, you shouldn't be afraid to like try vegetables in a different way or a broader scale. So yeah, I just try to put a little bit of everything, like my skin. I'm getting back in the gym eventually. My journey with God and how that's been, and just touching on and giving people like a personal outlook on my life ultimately.
So, yeah. I had a question about the page as I was looking, because I felt even myself, it's like a point where you have like a, when do you want to change type of the idea, and I wanted to ask you, what was your like changing point? Was it when you were at school, or was it something else? Like, if it's too personal, don't go in too deep.
I know. I think it was something like personal to me, as far as, like I said, me breaking out more than I was usual, because like I would break out and it would be something hormonal, but it got really bad when I just stopped caring about what I was putting in my body. Because I tried to transition sometime in high school, but because I wasn't getting the right amount of protein or nutrients, it backfired. So there were a lot of side effects. But outside of that, my brother was like a big influence. And because he like started, or paved the way essentially. I'm sorry if it's about to be loud, but he paved the way essentially for me changing my diet. And he just tested the thought like, oh, well, why don't you just try giving up beef or pork? And then once I did that, I was like, okay, I could do chicken, turkey. So yeah. So it was just like a combination. And then also seeing like how the generations before me have been, like, I don't want to be 50 crying about my back, my knees, got so many medications to take. Yeah, no. So I'm trying to take it serious now.
Yeah. And I think before maybe diving deeper, let's let the people know a little bit more about you. So I have some icebreaker questions. Okay.
Can I answer some?
Yeah, you can answer them too. I'll let you start, DeAndre. You can answer this one first.
All right.
Favorite movie and or favorite song?
I'll do movie. My favorite movie, if it goes back and forth between The Incredibles and Fantastic Mr. Fox.
The Fantastic Mr. Fox, that like clay movie. Well, it's not clay, but it's like
the stick jump.
The stick figure. Oh my gosh, that's really one of your favorites.
Yeah.
I guess. Okay, I guess. And yeah, put it in the chat if you want to say what yours is too.
Too.
Do you know what yours is, Khalia?
The old me would have said Loving Basketball, but the way that Twitter is eating that movie up right now, how we're older, I think I'm gonna go with this is tough. I guess I'm gonna I could say this. Transformers 2, Revenge of the Fallen. That's my go-to. Like, I can watch it over and over again. And anything with Shia LaBeouf, I'm cool with. Well, in his prime.
Yeah.
I don't know about now. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely his prime.
I guess Loving Basketball. I don't think that movie's good either. Well, when I first watched it, I was like, I don't know.
Oh, when did you first watch it though?
I was in 11th grade.
Oh, see, that's why. I watched it like probably early middle school, I want to say. So, the ideal love type of feel. And now it's like, oh, girl, he was manipulating you. It was all about him then. So, yeah.
For sure. Mother says Shawshank Redemption. I haven't seen that yet, but I heard good things.
I haven't either.
All right, next one.
Okay.
If you had advice for your middle school self, what would you have told her or him for you, DeAndre?
Okay, you go first.
Okay. If I could have any advice from a middle school self, it would be to have more compassion. I feel like I was just so like, I really didn't care about people's feelings. I didn't. I just was just like, if they treated me wrong, that's their fault. Or if they were having a bad day, I'm like, well, why are you having a bad day? Ain't nothing wrong. Or because I generally was always in a good mood. So anybody who like wasn't in a good mood, I just didn't have any compassion to understand like people are going through stuff. And I think, of course, now that I'm older, I understand that. But at that time, I was just like, I didn't care. So I just think I would tell myself to have more compassion for people.
Okay.
I wish. I think for me, I would tell my middle school self to like give myself grace. I think I was the opposite. I cared so much more about like what was going on, why my friends was acting funny or moving weird. I think to this day, like I still carry that on, but like I've stopped caring as much as I used to. But I would definitely tell myself like it's okay to miss out on things. It's okay if people are acting or moving funny. Like life is gonna go on. You're gonna be okay.
Yeah, I like that. DeAndre, what would you say?
My middle school self. What I tell my middle school self? I'll probably tell my middle school self, relax, the ladies is coming. Cause I feel like middle school, I don't know. It's like all you could think about was girls, but I guess that's a normal thing.
Yeah.
And I feel like sometimes with distraction, and
Yeah.
even like my mother, she was kind of hard on me about that too back in the day. So I was talking about something like the Valentine's Day thing, you know.
That's fair. That's fair. Okay. Well, I'll save the last couple for like the later on episode.
Okay.
So I think this is a big topic.
Yes.
Vulnerability, especially I think for Black people, is very tough. I think we probably will all love to be vulnerable if we could live in a world where like it was accepted and we didn't feel bad for being vulnerable, or people didn't make us feel a certain way for being vulnerable. So like for you, DeAndre, I'll start with you. Why do you feel that you have been vulnerable? Yes or no? And then if you haven't, why not? And if you have, what made you feel like you could be? And vulnerable in any way, you can answer that however you want to.
I don't think I've been the most vulnerable person ever. Because I guess the regular answer is nobody wants to be vulnerable so their feelings don't get hurt. I definitely feel later that I've grown up, I've definitely been more vulnerable to the people that I see fit. I think with my friends and things like that, I'm not very vulnerable, and I think that kind of stems from also just trying to create like imaginary boundaries just in case. And I don't want people to, like we spoke about before, using something that you said in the past to get under your skin later down the road. But I've learned, like we always talk about, I see people for who they are when it's time. So once they do that, then I'll know not to do those things. But I just give people, my true self now.
Yeah.
So I think that's what I've learned growing up, at least from high school to now, for sure.
Yeah. What about you, Khalia?
I think I'm in like a bit of a bind, or like in the gray area. I think before I would say I was definitely a lot more vulnerable, but I try to turn it off. But I'm the type of person who also like suffers in silence. So I kind of have like a weird feeling when it comes to being vulnerable, because I guess like it stems from, how your upbringing is, and then, how you carried on in your other relationships. So due to, not being at home and things may not be, so cohesive, or everybody understanding where your feelings are coming from, or, not using it against you, like DeAndre said. I think now I'm learning that it is okay to be vulnerable. I'm not ashamed of it, but I would hope that the people that I do surround myself with and that I am open with don't use it against me, or don't make it seem as if I'm being soft or too sensitive when I'm opening up, because then that's going to cause me to go back into my shell.
Right. Do you think... Oh, go, DeAndre.
Yeah, I had a question.
Yeah, sure.
I want to ask, when you were starting your journey, did you have a fear of being judged, or when you are being vulnerable about your, what you're doing with yourself? Did you have a fear about people pointing the finger at you?
Not really. I was like more surprised that I wasn't, because I think on my health page, like, I don't care if my hair is not how it's supposed to be. It kind of feels like I have my own little group of people outside of like my main account. Not saying like I had to put on a facade, but this is my safe space. This is what I allow you guys to see on a more vulnerable scale. And I think like I'm comfortable. I don't care. If you follow to get insight or to support me, not to bash me or make me feel like I couldn't be comfortable. And it was, I guess I realized that I could be vulnerable when people were like, oh, keep up the good work. Like, why have you fallen off? Like, why aren't you still sticking to what you do? And yeah, me and Deja, we had talked about that. Like, you were telling me, oh, I like it if nobody else does.
Yeah.
So that helps a lot.
For sure. Yeah. How do you think that the people around us could help support like us expressing our emotions? I know you talked about it a little bit before, but I think sometimes people feel like they're doing their part, but really they're not. So what are some ways that people, and you can answer to DeAndre, but like, what are some ways that people can really support someone when they're trying to show their true selves, really? Because I believe when you're being vulnerable, that's like one of your truest selves. Yeah.
I personally feel that of course, like, assume that the environment is safe and you're comfortable enough to even be vocal about being vulnerable, that people can show it in ways by, I guess, not necessarily proving that they listen to you, but based off of what you say, like asking you questions or reassuring you that like, oh, I did hear what you said. I am taking heed to it, and I will be here to check on you. Like if things are going like downhill, or if I feel like, you know, you've had a decline or something may not be going well for you based off of what they see. So I think like reassurance is the big thing, especially for myself. Like I know that people care or truly are, you know, genuine and caring when they reassure me or like text me out the blue or something. So yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that completely especially about the reassurance part. I know that a lot of people, when you say a goal that you have, people want to always critique or tell you why you shouldn't be doing what you're telling them you want to do. And I believe the best way someone can express themselves and, you know, fulfill the, you know, motivating you is just sitting back and letting you do what you need to do instead of always trying to have that input. Because your input, even if it's positive or negative, it always deters the mind some way.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
So I feel when you're trying to reach that goal and someone is trying to be there for you, either whatever they're saying, you just listen and push them that way, or don't say it at all. Everybody needs critique. I'm not saying don't be that person that can't accept critique, but especially in the beginning, though, people rock. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. I definitely agree. Especially if someone's coming to you with that enthusiasm or excitement about that, then at least in that moment, that initial conversation, you don't have to be so critical
or easily like shutting it down.
Right.
Or I agree.
For sure. So when it comes to, because again, this is our Valentine's Day edition episode, but when it comes to just love or a partner, whatever, how do you balance between, because it has to do with friends too, but I'm thinking more so when it comes to like romantic partnerships, how do you decide whether it's okay to just be in your own space and be alone, not lonely, but just alone because you don't feel like dealing with the men or whoever you're dealing with? And how do you decide like, okay, I want to give this person a chance, or like, hey, I think that is worth it might not even have been a real situation, but if you get there, what would be the reasons why you would give someone a chance or let somebody in?
DeAndre, you want to go first?
You gotta go first.
I'll go first. So I'll answer the alone question first.
Okay.
Being with somebody, you're in a relationship with somebody, you have to have balance. That's number one.
What does that mean?
I'm about to tell you. So no matter how much you love that person or you want to be with them, you can't be with them every day, all day. That's just not good for oneself. It's not good for them. You have to have balance with your friends and them. I think too many people, especially when maybe you get your heart broken once or maybe a few times, but you meet somebody and you start confining in them and everything they do, you want to do, or every time they go out, and that could be stem from maybe trust issues and or whatever. But being alone, it has to be just as satisfactory as when you're with them. So I feel like you have to find a balance in time in both. Okay, so that's my answer for the first one. Now, I'll let her go.
Oh no. Okay, wait. Because I want you to answer the second part though. Okay. When it's like, aside from that, how do you know if you've been cool with being by yourself, like you are just loving the single alone time, because it's important. You gotta decipher who you can let into your energy. How do you decide, okay, this is the time where I want to let somebody in and take a chance on them?
Right. Honestly, and I'll be real, you never really know until you take the risk. That's a cheesy answer because it's not a real answer, but honestly, it even took me time, but I knew when the time was right because I understood that nobody makes me feel this way. And I didn't feel at the time nobody could make me feel that way. So internally, I kind of knew, well, this person is the person I want to be with. You find that connection, somebody out the box, you don't let them go. That's like the rule number one. You find somebody out the box, you can't let them go.
That's a fact.
I mean, I don't know. I think you see it as the sea fits for you.
Yeah. Do you want me to answer first, Khalia, or do you have something?
I have something.
Okay.
Not unless you wanted to go.
No, go ahead. I was just saying.
I guess for the first question, as far as like balancing, when there needs to be space, I was the type of person that DeAndre described at first. Not saying that, like I had to be around them 24/7, but my love language is like quality time. Like I really value that out of everything. So I think What would set it aside is me being like, okay, I'm starting to be too consumed, or I'm starting to feel as though I can't identify who I am while I'm with you. And so once I establish or come to that conclusion where it's like, okay, who am I outside of this person? Then I'm like, okay, I need my space. But I do feel now that I am more confident to break away from someone or be like, okay, no, I do need my space. Like, especially working and, you know, being in school, that takes a lot. And sometimes you just don't want to talk. You don't want to do anything. So I've established boundaries with that. And then for the second one, I think for me personally, when someone understands me, like when someone is truly able to understand me, I don't have to like be uncomfortable, try to force conversation or try to make myself be someone other than I'm not. I think that's what's like the key factor for me. Like, oh wow, like I really like this person. I really want to be with this person. So I think that's the biggest one. Like to understand me and to get me, not having to break around these barriers and do all the extra stuff. Like it feels as if it's easy, but in a healthy and a right way.
Yeah, for sure. I like your answers. Yeah, I don't have too much to add. I was really gonna say I love being alone now more than I did in the past. So like being in my own space. So and I think that's probably because you know how you were saying too, Khalia, is like you're in school, you at work, you're around people so much that when you have a time to just like be by yourself, it's like the best thing ever, at least to me. So, but even though I value being around like my boyfriend's energy, I value like being by myself. So
my bad, go ahead.
I hate you so much. And I think it's just about communication, which is so cheesy, but I don't think it's right when people just start having an attitude when they want to be alone. And that is something that I started doing a little bit. I need to better communicate, like, okay, I'm just tired, or I just need my space.
Yeah, communication. I 100% agree with that. You shouldn't just change your mood just because you have to voice what you feel all the time.
Right.
And so what happens when, like, well, if you've ever experienced it, either one of you, where you're like upset that you're not with them? Because that's the thing.
Yeah, it is.
Where you're like, oh, okay, I'm frustrated. Why are you mad? Oh, you just want to be with your person, or you know. So,
bruh, you're saying like when you're upset, the fact that you want to be around them but you can't at the moment.
Yeah, like, or not even nothing to be like corny, like, oh, I just left you and I miss you so much. Nothing on that level, but oh my gosh, I'm frustrated. You probably haven't talked to him or her all day, and it's like, okay, what's going on here? Like, why am I feeling like this? Okay, the whole time it's just, you know, you wanted to be around them or be in their space, vice versa.
Yeah. I could definitely respond to that. Because I'm in a long, like mine is long distance. I do experience that sometimes where it's just like I have an attitude and I'm just like, what's my attitude? It's just because I get like the frustration of just wanting to be around that person.
Yeah.
But what are you saying? What happens when I communicate it? Like I'll say that's why I'm feeling that way. Yeah. I mean, it's not like you can change much about it. So to me, it's more like, okay, if I know I can't change that aspect about it, try not to get as mad and just try to do things to make me. So for instance, maybe we'd like do a movie on FaceTime or something. You know what I'm trying to say? Like make me feel like, because it's not going to be, the solution is not to just continue to have an attitude.
True.
I have to do something to make myself feel happy in that moment.
Yeah. I think the time also has to kind of blow past like your attitude, because you're gonna be upset about it. Because
you just need a nap.
You're gonna be upset about it because you can't see them. But I do with Deja though, just doing little things, you know, FaceTime or calls, or they have that app for you to watch movies at the same time. Like, I don't know, little stuff, you know, because long distances, it can be hard. Like even over breaks when I'm at school, you know, just little things. It's tough. Like it's not easy, but you just try your best to communicate the best. And for me, I'm a big texter. And when I first met, you know, my girl, she wasn't a big texter, so it was hard for me. I used to get upset. Like, why you take so long to text back? This and that. It wasn't a texter. So, sometimes I gotta just understand what the situation plays itself as. So I had to grow up a little bit too. So maybe it all just kind of ties into one.
Yeah, that's true. Understanding how people like to communicate and try to find a medium.
Yeah.
Because it's also not fair to just her to just say she's not a good texter either. You know, you got to find like a medium where it's like, you know, which I do appreciate her saying that, because it's like, now how do we make it work? Because so okay. Now when it comes to diet, I think that, why are you laughing?
Because the diet question is like, we kind of went through the same stuff, so I just want to hear what she has to say about it.
Okay. Yeah, like I think me and DeAndre do talk about this a lot, or experience this a lot. But how did you feel that when you changed your diet, it changed you when it came to like your mind, body, and soul? Or which ways did you see change positively the most, or whatever? You can answer that.
And I think this is like a question that everybody asks, because they be like, okay, so if I become a vegan, am I just gonna be happy all of a sudden? Or like, is my body gonna be how I want it to be?
Yeah.
Truthfully, I think, well, when I am like consistent and I'm doing quote unquote all the right things that I feel are right for me, I think that my mind, my body, and soul are all in one. Like, I feel when I'm, praying, I'm in tune. I'm, going to the gym, drinking a smoothie, I feel better. I'm energized. I'm not as sluggish. But then I also have my days like the next person, or the person who doesn't have my diet, where, okay, I don't want to do this. I'm sluggish. Like this past weekend, I was tired of my diet. I was like, what am I going to eat? It gets annoying. I get frustrated. And, I'm only subject to a select amount of food. So there's that. So there's negative connotations and positive. And I feel like more often than not, it's a lot positive when I'm consistent. When I'm, eating how I say I'm supposed to, implementing healthy habits on a day-to-day basis, then I feel good. I feel that I look good, and my mental is up to where I need it to be. But when I'm not, I'm down, depressed, not feeling my best. So it's like a 50-50 type of thing. But there's no answer to, oh yes, if I wake up every day and I have a green juice and I eat oatmeal and I go to the gym and I do this, that I'm going to be perfectly fine. No.
Right.
Yeah.
I think people need to understand, like, there's no guarantee when you are changing.
At all.
Yeah.
I feel like you have to, it's a never ending journey, like everything. So like if you stick to a regimen, or, you find innovative ways to make sure you're eating how you're supposed to, or doing certain things that'll tie into your mind, body, and soul, then sure, you may feel good. But otherwise, no. Sorry, guys. There's no cheat code.
It's really not. It's really not. But I will say for sure that when I started working out again, I did feel a significant change in my mood, for sure. I don't know. I know it definitely helps I guess it helps with like stress or releasing energy or whatever before you go to bed or something. I don't know. But it just helped me, because I guess my mentality is more so going to the gym for that, not to be like, oh, I'm trying to look like this.
Okay.
Like, just because I feel it'll happen over time. Like, of course you can have a goal when you go to the gym, but I really just, when I'm working out, I just want to like feel better mentally, and then I'd be like, oh, I feel good or whatever. But I don't know.
Yeah.
I definitely think that because the past maybe like a couple of days I wasn't eating the best, and I could tell my mood was just not good. Not to say I agree with you, Khalia. It's not to say that like when I'm eating great, my mood is the best either. But I do see that I respond to people better. Like I have more energy during the day. I'm not as grumpy. So
yeah.
DeAndre, you eat whatever. So.
Yeah, it's tough at school eating healthy.
And that's a real thing though. Like everyone can't change their diet.
That's a fact.
Given the circumstances.
Yeah. Especially at school. I don't cook, so.
You don't have a kitchen or anything?
I have a kitchen.
Yeah, he does.
I just don't cook, but the cafeteria has good stuff, I guess we could say, but it just fluctuates too much. So I'm just down to eat Chick-fil-A, Pizza Hut, Panda Express, every day. So I mean, I can definitely see a difference in my mood depending on what I eat, for sure. Kind of what you guys said. Of course, it's not a guarantee, but when I'm eating Chick-fil-A and all these fast foods, I just feel like, ugh. But then I go to the cafeteria one time out the week, and then I leave, and I just feel a little bit up, just a little bit.
Right.
I can even attest to us being pescatarian. Well, for me, it was like a year. For y'all, y'all still doing that, right? No beef.
I don't do it. I added chicken.
Chicken, yeah.
Like, it's been a minute since I've added chicken again, yeah.
Yeah, but pescatarian for a little bit. That was fun to do. It was just something different, It kind of brings a little added value to your life, just a tad,
Just a little bit.
Yeah,
but
just a little bit.
It can be expensive. That's another thing.
Yes.
And then also, depending upon like your area, if they don't have food that fits your diet, you either have to cook, force yourself if you don't know how, trial and error. There's a lot of ups and downs to it. So
yeah.
You gotta figure out what you're getting yourself into. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. I appreciate you bringing the perspective of both sides, because I think sometimes it's always talked about in such a, oh my gosh, you should totally do it, and not thinking about the other things that come with it, for sure.
Because there's a lot.
Yeah. So real quick, our last topic was about mental health. So I'm just curious to know what has been your journey when it comes to self-love, giving that Valentine's Day is not just for couples. So we want to talk about
because both of y'all in a relationship and I'm not.
Oh, real quick, my mom says send DeAndre some recipes so he can start cooking.
Okay.
I'm gonna check the page. I seen the food highlights, so I need some of that.
I got you. I gotta stop slacking. When I be going on my breaks, I just don't be caring about socials. I'm so sorry.
Yeah,
but
that's okay.
I'll be back eventually. But as far as my mental health journey, a roller coaster. Where do I begin? See, I'm at loss for words. But anyway, I think right now in this current state, I am in a pretty good space. I think that I told myself, especially this year, like, I'm the prize. It's all about me. I mean, not saying like I'm not looking for a relationship to where it'll be a balance and it's about him and it's about me. But like right now in this moment, for I need for myself, it's like Khalia's priority. She's number one. Don't put anybody else above yourself. Caring about me is my ultimate goal right now. So I think I'm in a pretty good space. I haven't, let's see, what am I trying to say? I haven't shied away from, being open and expressive. I've been trying to work on like my negative habits when it comes to my mental health. I've been trying to be more expressive when it comes to talking about my emotions, even if I have some type of reluctance, depending upon who I'm speaking to. I am seeking to talk to a therapist, because I feel like everybody needs somebody that's, non-biased or whatever. So I'm in a pretty good space, to say the least. But yeah, it's all about me right now. More of the story.
Period. I love that. Do you have anything, DeAndre, that you want to add about, or what your journey has been when it came to self-love, whatever that?
Self-love. Yeah, my journey with self-love has been great. I'm feeling good about myself these days. I'm feeling fresh, 21.
All right.
But no, I'm feeling good though, seriously.
I'm just playing.
Yeah, I'm feeling good though. I think also the people around me has definitely been a help. My friends, family, everyone has just kind of catered in a way that has benefited my mental health, and especially doing things that I enjoy, playing sports, doing the business, dressing how I want, just little things, getting a haircut today, like, it's helping, The small things definitely keep me going for the months and the weeks and stuff. But the cold, that's putting my mental health down for sure.
The cold, for sure.
I
100%. DeAndre Brandon said Pinterest is great for recipes. He's not going to cook. It's like he's not going to cook. Okay, well, go on Pinterest. Whatever. So to end off, we have this new thing that we do that's called like #GoCultivate, meaning we try to just leave off with letting people know something that they could do that's related to the topic that we're talking about. So I wanted to ask you, do you have any advice on like encouraging people to get started with something that they might be hesitant or scared to do? Because it is hard to start an Instagram page or start your own thing without feeling like judged or feeling it's just not good enough. I might not get as many likes or views as everyone else. So do you have any advice or encouraging words or whatever, or even you could talk to your own experience of how people can just stay motivated without feeling too nervous and just stopping themselves from just getting started?
Yeah, I think like the biggest thing that I'm learning, even when having the page or, trying to not be fearful of like what could happen, I guess it's like you'll never know unless you try. And then I also told myself, like, I don't want, not necessarily this year, but just in general, like moving forward with life, I don't want to not know what I could have done or like not reaching my full potential. So I think like the best advice that I could give is to stay true to you. If you want to do something that you are scared, that might not have the most views, people may not be as engaged as you like, just to do it anyway, because you never know what's going to come out of it, and you never know who may like it, even if you don't feel as if you're being a motivating factor to others or influencing people in a different way. It's just like a prime example, like the whole TikTok thing. Post the content, post your videos, do the vlogs, go try new places, you know, just stepping out of your comfort zone. I think being uncomfortable is how you know like you're growing in a weird way. So that's my advice.
Yeah, I 1,000% second that for sure.
Yeah. I definitely do. But thank you for joining us, Khalia.
Thank you guys for having me.
Of course. We know you're a busy girl, so we appreciate you sitting down with us. But tell the people how they could support you. I could put the Instagram for your page down here too. But,
I'm coming back, you guys.
Yeah,
I won't be gone long.
She will be back. Be back. I don't know what time. Yeah, so I'll make sure I put it in like the comments and stuff. But yeah, how do you think people should? Do you want them to follow your page or whatever?
I do.
Okay. So yes, it's at Khalia's Culture with a K. I know that for sure, and an underscore. I think
we've been tagging it too.
Yeah, we can
on our page everywhere, so we'll tag it again.
I'm sorry, there's people in here, so it's a little loud.
Oh, you're good.
But,
you're good.
I guess yes. Confidently, me saying this, I would love people to follow me. I would love for people to get engaged. I think before I used to be so content with like my little circle that it didn't phase me, like whether or not I was getting a high amount of likes or what was going on outside of it. It was just like, okay, these are my people. They like what I'm posting, so I'm going to keep doing it. Yeah. So yes, follow, like, share, do all that. Sometimes I'll be a little scared because I'm like, oh, now the people don't find me. Yeah, my bio, but dang.
I feel you.
But yeah. So follow, guys. I'll be back.
Yeah, so we'll make sure we add that and stuff. We have it in the description of this episode anyway. But thank you, girl, for joining, and thank everyone for tuning in to Cultivating Conversation with DP Square. We will be back next Tuesday. Do you have anything to say before we close out of here?
We're not missing a Tuesday all 2024, so we got to be there. Okay.
Oh my gosh. Whatever. But all right, y'all. We love y'all. We will see y'all next week.
Thanks everybody for